National Association of Black Journalists Convention begins here in Cleveland, and our very own Russ Mitchell sat down with the president and vice president of the Greater Cleveland chapter to talk about the big event.
Good morning. This week, more than 4,000 journalists will converge on Cleveland for the National Convention of the National Association of Black Journalists. It's a big deal. And joining us now are two officials with a local organization. Rhonda Crowder is the president of the Greater Cleveland Association of Black Journalists, and Helen Maynard is the vice president of broadcasting for the Greater Cleveland Association of Black Journalists. Thank you both for coming in.
Thank you for having us.
Full disclosure, I'm a member as well, former board member, so this is quite exciting. Rhonda, let people know, why is this such a big deal?
As you mentioned, we're expecting thousands of Black journalists to come to Cleveland. It's an opportunity for us to showcase our city and all the wonderful things that take place here in Cleveland, and hopefully they will leave with a great impression.
We hope so. We know so. That's going to be fantastic to have folks come in and experience Cleveland. Helen, you've been to a number of these over the years. I know you both have, but I consider you an expert, in these things. What kinds of things will the journalists experience professionally while they're here?
So there's a lot of opportunity to network and to learn from each other, and I think that's probably the most important thing that happens. I remember going to a session where someone was talking about an incident they had where they had to run around and deal with an interview, and then they suddenly had to change their outfit because the person they were interviewing had basically the same clothes on. And so those types of things, but then the person had a hair issue, and everyone in the room instantly understood what she meant when she said that she had a hair issue. It's just a moment where everyone is speaking the same language.
Sure.
And there's a lot of professional growth that you can have at NABJ. There are so many sessions that happen where people are able to tell you and share their experience, and there's practical hands-on. There's always an AI lab, so we're learning in the technology labs. There's so much learning.
Also, if you're looking for a job, this is the place to be, because there's a job forum there. Every major communications outlet in the world is basically here to find folks.
Absolutely. So for young people looking for their first job, or for seasoned professionals looking for their next job, the conference is definitely somewhere where they want to be.
Another unique part of this conference is it's the 50th anniversary
Absolutely.
of the National Association of Black Journalists. Kind of give me an idea, again, going back to that phrase, big deal. Why is that so huge?
Well, there were, the founders had to sit down and take a stand and make sure that they were being treated the same way other journalists were being treated in their newsrooms. And it was a big deal for people to sit down and sign their name to a document and say, I will be on the board of this organization. It's going to advocate. And it was the first affinity journalism group. And so, you have other journalism groups like that who formed after this. It's a really big deal. It's amazing how it's grown over the years. We expect 4,000 people, about 4,000 people, and that's a lot of people who are here for one cause.
And the founders will be honored, at the convention this year also, which is great. People, when they hear about a big convention like this coming to town, many times they ask, how did we get something like that? I know it's more complicated than just a sentence or two, but I know you both have been in on that process. Cleveland actually beat out a number of other cities to get this, right?
We did. Yes, we did. It was a very competitive bidding process, but Destination Cleveland stepped up to the plate and hit a home run. Back in 2019, it was really Destination Cleveland coming to our organization and saying, hey, we want to present this proposal. Do we have the support of the local chapter? So we're, very grateful for the work that they've done to help bring this conference here.
I know you've talked to a number of people, Helen. They're excited to come to Cleveland?
Oh, they are, and you wonder what people are going to say, but it's a breath of fresh air to hear people say, oh my God, Cleveland looks so beautiful in the summer. I've been looking on Instagram and there's all these different things. Oh, I found restaurants that I want to go to. And it's just this great surprise for folks. We are one of the best kept secrets in the country.
Yeah, I know that we're also offering tours for people too. When they come here, a number of other events as well. There's a party on Tuesday night, party on Wednesday night for the local chapter as well. Got to buy tickets, got to pay for that. Not free?
Tickets.
All right.
It's a fundraiser for our local chapter to help us support young emerging journalists as well as our existing membership.
Before we go, let me ask you too about the state of journalism. We're talking about younger journalists here. Are you optimistic or pessimistic about the state of journalism? The younger people are as engaged as they were, as say we were a few years ago.
Well, it's interesting because I was in Cincinnati at a Cincinnati ABJ event, and there were two legendary journalists having a conversation. And I asked the question, should we still be encouraging young journalists to come into this profession that's ever changing? And the response was yes, which I found interesting, but then the follow-up to that was that, it may not look the same. You may not have a 50-year career anymore, but it is definitely a great place to come and hone your skills and maybe eventually move on to something else.
Helen, what's your take on that?
Well, I mean, I think you hear a lot about young people wanting to be involved in what happens and make a difference, and I think there's plenty of them who see the opportunity to use journalism to tell stories that are from their community and from the point of view that they think needs to be lifted up. Channel 3 is going to be part of that. The J Shop will have a workshop here at the station, and it's full. I mean, those are the high school students, and they had to pick. So I think there's the spirit is there.
That's a big deal. Once again, the convention this week runs from Wednesday to Sunday. You want to remind folks at home, if you happen to be downtown next week, look up at the Terminal Tower. It's going to be lit in gold in honor of the convention. Rhonda Crowder, Helen Maynard, thank you so much.